World Zionist Organization. Thanks so much, Mr. Behar, for joining us here on RT International. Well, as you know, comparisons are being made with the Charlie Hebdo drama back in January. And what about you? What do these kind of attacks mean for Europe? What do you think?
Thank you so much for having me. I believe that first and foremost, Europe is waking up to a new era, a new reality, out of which we in Israel and around the Jewish world have been pointing out for the last 10 years or even more. We are witnessing a rise on anti-Semitic attacks that are getting worse and worse, and we are trying to differentiate between classical anti-Semitism and the modern one, which is unfortunately what is taking place right now nowadays in Europe.
Now, looking at these two attacks, the first one was in a free speech meeting and the second one was in a synagogue. Do you see any connection between these two?
Definitely. The first attack was against freedom of speech. The second one was against the Jews. The Jews are always a reason to continue and fight against. When you are stopping freedom of speech, you're stopping the right of a Jew to live freely wherever he wants to. And this is an unfortunate incident that is just going to lead us to the next incidents that will be not only in Europe, but also in the rest of the world. You know what? Europe, the European Union, just a couple of months ago, the European Union Congress decided to take off Hamas and Hezbollah off of the terrorist organizations. You know, maybe now, just a little bit too late, they're waking up to this unfortunate reality.
Well, but what about the Danish government? I mean, we know that, and I mentioned that earlier, that a month ago Jews asked their government to protect them. So clearly we see that it's failed. What are your thoughts? Have they been given enough protection by the government?
Well, unfortunately, since it happened, no, it's not enough at all. When we are witnessing a rise in anti-Semitic expressions by politicians and by the Muslim community in Europe, we need to wake up and say, you know what? It is the responsibility of every government in Europe and around the world to protect their minorities and their citizens, because the next stage is not going to be only the Jews, it's going to be the people who were born and raised in Europe themselves. And people need to start waking up from this dream. And you know, we are facing a situation when the United States of America, only last week, a couple of days ago, announced that the terrorist attack, the anti-Semitic attack that took place in France was not necessarily anti-Semitic one. It was, there were people, unfortunately, people were there in the wrong place and in the wrong time. I don't really understand what else can bring the world governments to actually clarify and understand that this is anti-Semitism. A Jew that is going to a kosher supermarket that is being killed there, it's only because he's Jewish.
All right, Eitan Behar from World Zionist Organization, thanks for sharing your thoughts and concerns with us here on RT International. And we're keeping